Caitlin Clark, alone in the crowded theater, anticipated the microphone's presentation. What was next for the WNBA's top star, who had already broken records? Unthinkable rupture was imminent. Even more powerful is the silence surrounding women's athletics for decades.
That's not something that's up for negotiations anymore. It's like you must have that if you want.
From a simple reward ceremony, it became a moment that resonated across the sports world. The words didn't just prompt spectators to cheer. They motivated a generation to act. How would a basketball player respond? This would differ from experienced players, supporters, and businessmen who are crying. The subsequent lecture challenges our understanding of sports success and the power of using a larger platform. The scene was already historic at the time. Caitlin Clark took the initiative to accept her WNBA The League's Rookie of the Year award November 2024 yearly award ceremony. The gathering took place in a crowded setting in New York City, hosted the top figures in sports and women's basketball media, as well as business sponsors who had saw the season that changed the most in the history of the WNBA. The appearance of Clark at the podium represented more than a single-person accomplishment. It signaled the coming of a new era for women in the workforce athletics. Clark's rookie campaign in 2024 had broke expectations and changed the record books in a manner that appeared nearly not imaginable. She scored 19 points on average, 5-7 rebounds, and 8 assists per game as he helped the Indiana Fever to victory participation in the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Among the statistical successes were establishing new rookie assist marks. 337 122 three-pointers were made, and becoming the league's first rookie to achieve a triple-double in history.
And Alyssa Smith went to the line and did in fact complete.
The ramifications of Clark's commercial presence stretched beyond basketball, as her matches frequently attracted more than 1 million of people who watched television and regularly sold out stadia throughout the league. Season ticket for the Indiana Fever sales grew by more than 400%, and that the team switched from playing in smaller places that sell out the same arena used by the Indiana Pacers of the NBA. That the financial revolution was developments in the professional lives of women history of sports. The gathering that evening included WNBA superstars such women Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Maya Moore, and celebrities of today like Hugh Wilson, as well as Breanna Stewart. Business leaders, public figures, and youthful fans who were motivated by the remainder was filled by Clark's adventure. Seats.
Kind of like a new season, a new change, but everyone just...
The broad gathering of persons symbolized the wide alliance that Clark's accomplishments had built in relation to women's basketball. Queries emerged regarding the instances when Clark may have been ready for his freshman season. For public speaking of this kind chance, and whether her college encounter in Iowa, where she turned into at ease with intense media attention, influenced her capacity to communicate with such a vast and powerful audience. As soon as Clark started speaking, she said her first words instantly drew the attention of the group by not acknowledging her own accomplishments. However, the female generations who had constructed the framework that enabled her for success to be realistic. She talked about pioneers of the WNBA who performed in little arenas for meager compensation while keeping other jobs, building the infrastructure for the league that allowed her to become well-known and monetary achievement. The heart of the main theme of her speech was accountability. It is both her job to utilize her platform intelligently and the group accountability of each person present to guarantee that the advancements gained during she would have a long debut season. Following the conclusion of her playing career, she contested league officials, sponsors, media representatives, and supporters to uphold their dedication to basketball for women even when her personal celebrity power may decline. The combination of Clark's delivery, sincere feeling with particular appeals to take action. As she described concrete strategies that various stakeholders may implement, boost the growth of women's sports. She discussed the media's coverage, asking a constant spotlight on women's basketball all season long instead of only during playoff runs or performances that broke records. Her opinions carried weight due of their background. A man whose presence had essentially transformed the commercial climate for sports. Slowly, this standing ovation started as Clark talked about her teammates and coaches who had helped her make the change to playing basketball professionally. The cheers escalated in volume as she praised the opponents who had inspired her to become well, preserving the level of competition. Consequently, women's basketball convincing.
Kind, caring person, and you can really feel that.
However, the incident that brought the audience rose up when she changed attention from basketball to more general influence in society. Legal professionals observe that professional athletes' public remarks have grown to be platforms for tackling social concerns and promoting for systemic transformation, mirroring the athlete activism's development and the acknowledgement that athletes have special capacity to sway public opinion. Exchanges of policy and opinion. Clark's remarks regarding equality in sports struck a chord all around the auditorium, while she talked about how she grew up watching basketball on TV and daydreaming about playing professionally, while realizing that the financial and media coverage that men can access athletes were significantly better than she could anticipate in women's athletics. Her individual story evolved into a more comprehensive analysis of gender satire and the significance of producing opportunities for the future generations. The celebrity of basketball leveraged her position to speak to young females watching from home and in the audience, motivating them to achieve their athletic aspirations while simultaneously highlighting the value of education and acquiring abilities outside of athletics. Caitlin did it. Her speech achieved a balance between motivation and realism, recognizing the limitations that female athletes confront while expressing hope for change opportunities. She talked about relationships between teammates and competition respect garnered special praise from audience members who are also participants. Clark talked about gaining expertise from warriors who saw her at first as a danger to their recognition and playing time. But she eventually acknowledged her achievement as advantageous to the league as a whole. These connections have altered over her first season since early disputes gave path to cooperation and respect for one another. Particular recognition was mentioned in the speech. Those admirers who had accepted women's basketball in her debut season. Many of them were taking part in the sport. For the first time, Clark stated that keeping fans interested will involve ongoing excellence from everyone, players, and continuous attempts to produce activities that are both enjoyable and accessible for all audiences. Executives from corporations. All sponsors were given direct recognition for their elevated sponsorship for women's basketball. However, furthermore, Clark pushed them to uphold their assistance throughout the unavoidable reductions in performance or attentiveness. I've said Kansas City would be a terrific place for a team. I've never actually. Her statements were especially significant due to the fact that her participation has produced unprecedented wealth and publicity that was advantageous to the league as a whole ecosystem. One must question what interactions Clark may have had with mentors, coaches, or seasoned athletes prior to the event that affected her. Choice to concentrate on communal accountability as opposed to personal accomplishments. The consequences could signal that she spoke in a mature manner, knowing of her place in women's basketball's past and her responsibility to utilize her position to make a bigger difference. The speech's emotional high point was when she discussed her grandfather's impact on her basketball career and his focus on leveraging success to assist others accomplish their own aims. Her personal narrative that interests the listener, those who are aware of the family, sacrifices, and networks of support that facilitate sports success at the highest levels. Clark's appeal to members of the media earned a lot of applause when she asked complete coverage of basketball for women that extends beyond her personal games and performances.
A new WNBA single-game record.
She particularly requested for consideration of further gifted athletes, fascinating narratives, as well as the commercial features of professional sports for women that show the league's expansion and profitability. The novice sensation talked about coaching and potential for women's advancement in basketball, promoting more portrayal of female coaches and executives with decision-making responsibilities across college and the workplace sports. Her support was a reflection of comprehending that systemic change needed to be represented at every level of sports leagues. Her remarks about global expansion of women's basketball recognized the worldwide characteristics of the sport and the chances for American athletes to take a lesson from global competition while also imparting their abilities and understanding of basketball development programs across the globe. The standing ovation reached its zenith when Clark came to a conclusion by asserting that personal achievement entails nothing without group advancement and that her first season accomplishments would only have significance if they helped bring about long-lasting improvement for both women's basketball and women's sports in general. Her concluding remarks urged everyone in attendance to retain their dedication to equality and advancement long after the immediate excitement of seasons that smashed records and viral moments had dwindled. The lengthy cheering that ensued lasted for a few minutes as the audience members stayed erect as Clark stepped off the podium. The emotional reaction indicated that her statements had struck a chord powerfully with those who listened and comprehended the historical significance of her athletic accomplishments and the larger importance of her.
Caitlin did it.
Communication regarding accountability and advancement sports. Historians observe that remarks made by breakthrough athletes frequently turn into significant events in their professional lives and in the evolution of each of their athletics. These public declarations can affect media and policy decisions, public opinion and coverage in ways that go much beyond a single game. Performances. The instant social media reaction to Clark's speech produced millions of shares and views throughout various platforms, including snippets of her most impactful moments that are going viral among basketball enthusiasts, as well as more general audiences with a social justice interest and concerns about equality.